Hello, this is Guava Moment, and welcome to the results for week 2. A lot of submissions this week, a pretty high retention rate, which I'm quite happy with. So let's start off by making benzoic acid into carbon dioxide and deadly benzene. I want to start off by showing this solution by Ineffable. It's the 25th place solution, so it's not one of the good ones. And I wanted to show you kind of why. There's a couple of things that he's doing in this challenge or in this solution that, well, not wrong. I mean, it works. That's always a plus. But there are a couple of things that are preventing this from being a really fast solution. Let's go back a challenge, back to making methane. If I was to submit a challenge for speed that involved something like this, you would quite rightly think that it's a pretty bad speed-wise, because blue spends all its time moving hydrogens back and forth. I didn't even need to mention this last week. It seemed common sense. Why would you assemble the atom, or assemble the molecule over the output? Everyone assembled it over the input. So back to Ineffable, I kind of asked the same question. Why are you disassembling over the input? Everyone else, or a lot of people, a lot of the top solutions, disassembled over on this side. One thing this solution does have is this kind of L-shaped Tetris block arrangement of bonders. That was something a lot of people had, because right here you can involve bonder priority. Red's about to debond this, blue's about to rebond, but the bond will form between the carbon and the hydrogen, making the benzene. And you'll note that the benzene isn't exactly the same as this one up here, but I mean, you can just rotate this hydrogen here around the carbon and get the output. The other reason that this solution is not as fast as it could be is that it involves these two kind of loops. It's not one Waldo doing all of the work. The two have to share the duty. So if you see blue spends his time waiting at the sink, red never waits at the sink. Go from the start to start, that's 14 squares. Since you need 10 outputs, you have to do this 10 times. That means the solution is going to be on the order of 140 cycles, so 138. Now, there's nothing wrong with solutions that have these two loops working together, but if you want a really fast solution, you need really tight loops. So let's try to see something a little bit faster. This was my solution. You can see the same kind of L-shaped Tetris block bonder thing I talked about. I imagine a lot of people had problems in this level trying to get the carbon dioxide. It's right here. Getting this double bonded properly, always tricky. I thought rotating this guy would work. It turns out there's a faster way, but what I do like about my solution is that each Waldo does all the work, so that I call this double pumping the solution. This ended up at 105 cycles, which was enough to put me in 11th place if I was in the competition. So there are still better ways. This was a solution submitted by Jabor. He eventually submitted one better than this, but I want to show this one off because it was the lowest symbol solution that I received, and it ends up being 105 cycles, which was the same speed as my old one, but with literally half the symbols. Jabor also did this kind of flip-flop bonder thing here. Watch this. So it kind of flips up to rebond, get that carbon dioxide double bonded properly. That's something that I saw in quite a lot of solutions. But I really thought this one was cool just because of how linear and low symbol it was. And 105, Jabor ended up with a solution that was 4th place, but this would have been better or faster than mine because it was lower symbols. Now back when I said about Ineffable solutions, how he had two kind of loops working together, I said it didn't work that well because you need this loops to be tight to get really fast. These loops, there's no sync and there's a rotate, so these loops are 9. So 9 times 10, it's on the order of 90 cycles. The first one takes a little bit longer, so getting it actually set up takes a while. So this ends up 99. This one was submitted by Wild M, kind of at the 11th hour. This is sort of the same deal. This was submitted by Sibling of TB, and like most solutions, it involves bonder priority right here, but also has these tight loops the loop is 9 squares long. Both this and Wild M's solution do a weird thing, though. Look at this. Look at that. How did that not collide? Come on, that's a collision. That should be a collision. I don't know why it's not. I guess because this is being outputted, but seriously, that should be a collision. That's something I didn't know about, and I thought I knew all the quirks about this game. But there is one solution even faster than 96 cycles. This was the solution submitted very early on, I think it was only after a day, by Mirror. Again, this L-shaped Tetris piece. But Mirror did something that I don't think anyone else did. He started off by grabbing this hydrogen up here, the one that has to be moved down to bond to this carbon. Everyone else seemed to start by grabbing something that ended up as carbon dioxide. By grabbing this hydrogen first, Mirror does a thing where he doesn't even need to enter the omega output zone. The carbon dioxide just enters it fully formed and just gets lopped off and outputted right away. Final tally? 92 cycles. So this was the best solution submitted. I still had the number one solution at 105 when Mirror submitted this at 92, so I knew I had to run it right away. So I input all this and I ran it through, and I came up also with 92 cycles, 32 symbols. Mirror made a mistake here. You see what he did? Give you a second. He left this guy in here. 92 cycles, 32 symbols. This would be the number one solution, submitted by, well, no one. This solution is here for the taking, for anyone, just because Mirror made that one little mistake there, didn't realize he left that arrow in. Luckily it didn't cost him this round, but you never know, sometimes it might. And now we move on to Challenge 5, Combustion 101. This one I'm sure a lot of people had problems with. It seems kind of difficult to optimize, you don't know where to start. You have to both assemble and disassemble atoms. So where's the best place to put the bonders? Put them over the inputs, put them over the outputs, somewhere in between. There are just so many options with this, so many bonders, so many ways you can orient them, that I don't think I got any duplicate solutions at all. This is, I know it's kind of a hard one just by looking at how many people didn't submit a solution for this. So I think maybe I'll have to tone the difficulty back just a little bit. This was the solution submitted by Cannibal9K, or Cannibal Nink as I like to call him because it's funnier. He made a comment that he watched one of my videos and where I showed that if you drop an atom, like if you were to drop this methane right here and try to output it, nothing happens because it's kind of sitting over two zones. He said that knowledge was enough to help him get this solution. So like what a lot of people have realized, if you have used bonder priority, you can just kind of debond this all at once, rebond it, and make your water properly. But he did a thing where since this section is sitting over two zones, it doesn't get outputted, and this water here does. So we never even needed to grab that one. Then it's just, you know, move around your hydrogen, oxygen, make your carbon dioxide, and output all that, and keep going one more. I know this was a very good solution to end up in third place. I wish I could tell the strategy to make this level a really good one. My solution turned out to be awful. It's just there are so many options. This is kind of a difficult one. It's really hard to say what the best strategy is. I guess we'll just have to look at the different solutions and see what we get, and hopefully get some ideas from that. 266. So this was submitted by Amro. He did a thing where everything happens over the inputs. There was one very clever thing that he did in the middle here. With this carbon dioxide. Handoff! Red drops it, blue grabs it. So that red can go back to being down here while blue goes up here to start the thing over again. That means he didn't need any sinks here. Here's that handoff again. Oh! That's beautiful! Look at that. Certainly helps speed things up, and it's kind of impressive that there are no sinks in this. Both red and blue have the same path length. That ended up 253. And this was submitted by Catrafoil. I guess he kind of split the difference. He put all of his bonders in the middle. But you can just look at how tight this mess is, how these loops are. And there's no big, you know, wandering paths here. Everything's all nice and tight and organized. And, well, ends up 247. So this was the fastest solution to that was submitted, and so congratulations, Catcherfoil. But you did the same thing Mirror did. What's that doing there? You don't need that. You could have saved a symbol. Oh, you're killing me, guys. But let's just sit and watch this for a bit. Number one solution by Catcherfoil. So I want to thank everyone again for submitting, and I hope you all have fun and enjoy the challenges for week 3.